OpenAI just dropped Sora 2, and it's absolutely mind-blowing. According to OpenAI's official release, Sora 2 can do things that were outright impossible for prior video models. This is what OpenAI calls their GPT 3.5 moment for video, a massive leap in world simulation capabilities. Now, here's where it gets insane. While everyone's still processing Sora 2's breakthrough, Sam Altman just casually leaked details about GPT-6. Think about that for a second. If Sora 2 represents this kind of quantum leap in understanding and simulating physical reality, just imagine what GPT-6 will do for language and reasoning. It's like watching OpenAI announce the iPhone 17 while simultaneously teasing the iPhone 18 specs. The pace is absolutely overwhelming. But GPT-6 isn't just another model upgrade. This is fundamentally different. As Altman put it, people want memory. People want product features that require us to be able to understand them. And he's not talking about more RAM or processing power, he's talking about something much more human. AI that actually remembers who you are. If Sora 2 can master the physics of basketball bouncing, GPT-6 aims to master the context of your entire digital life. Now, first, the timeline. Altman confirmed GPT-6 is in active development and promised it will arrive faster than the gap between GPT-4 and GPT-5. We're not talking about waiting 2 years here. Industry speculation points at early 2026, possibly Q1 or Q2. That's just months away from now. Is GTA 6 joke still relevant? But let's get real about why this is happening so fast. GPT-5's launch was, to put it bluntly, a disaster. And I'm not being dramatic here. The numbers don't lie. Users immediately took to Reddit and social media complaining that it felt colder, less connected, and less helpful than GPT-4. The backlash was so intense that OpenAI had to quietly push updates to make GPT-5 sound much warmer, as Altman admitted in his CNBC interview. Let me show you exactly what I mean. There are entire Reddit threads with titles like GPT-5 is awful and GPT-5 is horrible that have thousands of responses from disappointed users. Check out our ChatGPT, where one thread titled GPT-5 is horrible has over 2,000 comments, with users saying things like, "It feels like talking to a robot again," and GPT-4 had personality, GPT-5 feels dead inside. Another thread on our OpenAI called GPT-5 is awful shows users complaining that the responses are technically correct but completely soulless. And I actually downgraded back to GPT-4 because at least it understood context and nuance. This wasn't just user perception. There were measurable problems. Performance benchmarks showed inconsistent results across different use cases. The model seemed to struggle with nuanced conversations that GPT-4 handled beautifully. Content creators reported that their workflows broke because GPT-5 couldn't maintain the same tone or style across long projects. Businesses saw productivity drops because they had to re-explain their processes every single session. Now, let me give you my honest take on this GPT-5 situation. Everyone's hating on it, but my experience has been different. Yes, GPT-5 feels more clinical initially, but I found that once you understand how to prompt it properly, using the 5-box formula, role, task, context, constraints format, it actually produces more consistent business results than GPT-4 ever did. Watch this my video about GPT-5 prompting. Actually, I've got an entire breakdown of the main prompting formulas inside AI Master Pro's Prompt Lab. It is 300 plus ready-made prompts for many scenarios like business, content creation, marketing, etc. The problem isn't that GPT-5 is worse. It's that it exposed a fundamental flaw in how AI systems work. Every conversation starts from zero. You have to re-establish context, re-explain your preferences, rebuild the working relationship every single time. It's like hiring a new employee every day who has no memory of yesterday's work. That's exactly what GPT-6 is designed to fix. And honestly, after dealing with the frustration of constantly re-explaining my business processes and writing style to AI systems, the promise of persistent memory sounds like a game changer. The community response was brutal. One Reddit user summed it up. Short replies that are insufficient, more obnoxious AI stylized talking, less personality. The disappointment was palpable, and OpenAI knew they had a major perception problem on their hands. This is where it gets interesting from a business perspective. Altman's pivot to hyping GPT-6 before GPT-5 even settled in the market shows just how competitive this space has become. With Anthropic's Claude gaining ground, Google's Gemini making moves, and Elon Musk's XAI breathing down their necks, OpenAI can't afford another lukewarm reception. Speaking of staying on top of AI developments like this, keeping up with GPT-5, GPT-6, Sora 2, VO4, and everything else dropping weekly, it's genuinely overwhelming. I was drowning in it until I found my system. I've been using AI Master Pro as my home base for everything AI. It's not another course promising you'll make 10 grand in a week. It's an actual hub that consolidates everything. 100 plus bite-sized lessons, weekly AI digests so you don't miss important releases like this one. Built-in tools like Ask AI Master, where I can literally ask my personal AI coach to explain new concepts, and Prompt Lab Pro with 300 plus ready prompts I actually use in my business. This works for anyone grinding in AI, freelancers, creators, marketers, solo founders. If you're trying to turn AI knowledge into actual income, this is your launchpad. Inside, you get the Generative AI Starter course, the AI Master Method with 8+ hours of deep training and building real AI offers, 300 plus prompts, community access, tool discounts, and those weekly digests that literally save hours of research time. First 1,000 people get 20% off, link in the description. Now let's talk about why GPT-6 memory system is such a massive shift. The core feature that's got everyone talking is persistent memory. The memory system isn't just about convenience. Based on what we know from Sam Altman's statements and industry speculation, GPT-6 is expected to learn your communication patterns, remember your professional workflows, track your personal habits, and adapt to your emotional responses over time. But the implications go much deeper than most people realize. Traditional AI systems are stateless. They forget everything between conversations. This creates a natural privacy barrier. With GPT-6, that barrier disappears completely. The AI would build a comprehensive psychological profile of you over time. It could learn when you're stressed based on your writing patterns. It might notice when you're making decisions emotionally versus rationally. It could track how your opinions evolve on different topics. For entrepreneurs and business owners like myself, this could be genuinely transformative. The AI could predict your needs before you even express them. It might notice patterns in your decision-making that you're not aware of. It could suggest optimizations to your workflow based on years of observing how you actually work, not how you think you work. This is exactly why I keep detailed notes inside my AI Master workspace. When new models drop, I can reference my old experiments instantly. Speaking of which, the AI Master community called this memory shift 3 months ago based on Altman's hints. This sounds magical, but there is a dark side nobody wants to discuss. If your AI remembers everything about you, it also stores sensitive information. Who controls that data? Who decides what gets deleted and what stays forever? Altman himself acknowledged in the CNBC interview that current memory isn't encrypted, though he said encryption very well could be added, but gave no timeline. The privacy implications are staggering. We're already trapped in algorithmic echo chambers on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok that only show us what we want to see. Now imagine your personal AI doing the same thing. If it remembers your weaknesses, it could exploit them. If it remembers your preferences, it could push you to consume more. If it remembers your emotions, it could condition you. There are widespread reports that OpenAI isn't just building a better chatbot, they're reportedly creating an entirely new category of device with Apple's former design chief, Jony Ive. The rumors started circulating after OpenAI reportedly wrote a $6.4 billion check to acquire Ive's design studio. That's billion with a B. This puts OpenAI directly in collaboration with the designer who turned brushed aluminum into the iPhone. Together, they're reportedly working on what industry observers describe as a screen-free AI companion. a device small enough for your pocket or desk that has no display whatsoever. How would a screen-free device work? Based on industry speculation and current ChatGPT capabilities, it's all about voice interaction. The latest ChatGPT audio already sounds incredibly human. It can joke, laugh, change tone dynamically. Strip away the visual interface, and you get something more like a digital assistant that feels like a companion rather than a tool. But here's where it gets really interesting. Based on what we know about OpenAI's hardware ambitions, this device would have 3 breakthrough features that no AI device has ever achieved before. First, it's genuinely context-aware. It can figure out where you are and what you're doing, then step in at the perfect moment. Picture it noticing you're walking to work and quietly reminding you about your 9 o'clock meeting without you even asking. The context awareness goes beyond simple location tracking. The device apparently uses multiple sensors to understand your environment and emotional state. It can detect stress in your voice, recognize when you're in a meeting versus relaxing at home, and even identify other people around you to adjust its responses appropriately. This is not reactive AI, it's proactive AI that anticipates your needs. Imagine having a business partner who never sleeps, never forgets, and knows your schedule, preferences, and working style better than your assistant. That's the promise here. Second, the hardware is deceptively simple, but incredibly sophisticated. Think about the Apple Watch, a tiny computer that runs apps, answers calls, and tracks your heart. Strip away the screen and health sensors, and you've got a board roughly the size of a coin. Easy to hide almost anywhere, but unlike the Apple Watch, this device won't just be a phone accessory. It's designed to work independently while still connecting seamlessly to your existing devices. The engineering challenges here are immense. Creating a device with hours of battery life in such a small form factor while running advanced AI models represents a significant breakthrough in power efficiency. Sources suggest OpenAI has developed new chip architectures specifically for this device, optimized for GPT-6's memory and processing requirements. Third, and this is what Sam Altman calls AI Companion, it's the first AI device built around GPT-6's memory system from the ground up.
Yeah, I think what consumers want from us eventually is an AI companion.
While other AI devices were trying to cram existing AI models into hardware, OpenAI designed GPT-6 and this device together. The AI knows not just what you're saying, but who you are, what you typically need at this time of day, and how you prefer to receive information. Speaking of AI transforming how we work, while we're waiting for GPT-6, there are 2 AI tools I'm actually using right now that are absolute game changers for content creators. And yes, they are sponsoring this video, but honestly, I would be talking about them anyway. First up, AI Video Cut. If you're creating content for YouTube Shorts, TikTok, or Instagram Reels, this is the fastest way to turn long-form videos into viral short clips. The AI analyzes your footage, picks the most engaging moments, adds captions automatically, and you can edit everything online. No downloading massive software. They give you 50 free minutes to test it out, which is honestly enough to create dozens of clips. I've been using it to repurpose my longer videos into shorts, and the time savings are insane. Second tool, LaLaLi. This one's for audio. It's the only 8-stem splitter in the world, meaning you can separate vocals, drums, bass, guitar, basically any element from any audio track. Content creators use it to clean background noise from recordings, musicians use it to extract instrumentals, and dubbing studios use it for voice cloning. It's powered by their custom AI called Perseus, and the quality is legitimately impressive. You get 10 free minutes to try it. Both tools let you test them for free before committing to paid plans. Links are in the description below, AI Video Cut and LaLaLi. Now back to the GPT-6 hardware situation, because this is where it gets wild. Here's what's particularly interesting about the device strategy. According to leaks, Altman has described it as potentially being a device that would work alongside existing devices rather than replacing them. Industry speculation suggests they're targeting ambitious sales numbers by 2026, which sounds incredibly optimistic, considering most AI hardware devices have flopped spectacularly. Remember the Humane AI pen? Massive hype, celebrity endorsements, and it turned out to be an overpriced paperweight that overheated and barely worked. Or the Rabbit R1, Same story, promising concept, terrible execution. The graveyard of AI devices is already pretty crowded, and OpenAI knows this. But there's a crucial difference here. While other companies were building hardware around mediocre AI, OpenAI is building hardware around what could be the most advanced AI model ever created. The timing matters. GPT-6's memory and personalization features would make a voice-only device much more useful than current alternatives. The device represents OpenAI's attempt to control the entire AI experience stack. They're not just providing the intelligence, they're designing how humans interact with that intelligence. If successful, this could be as significant as the iPhone's impact on mobile computing. We're potentially looking at the birth of ambient computing, where AI assistance is always available but never intrusive. The technical infrastructure for this is already in place. According to reliable industry sources, NVIDIA delivered the first DGX B200 GPUs to OpenAI in October 2024. These are the chips that will power GPT-6's training. Microsoft's Azure AI supercomputers are handling the heavy computational lifting, and the massive Stargate data center project is providing the infrastructure backbone. But let's talk about the elephant in the room: compute constraints. Sam Altman has been transparent about this challenge. OpenAI has better models ready, but can't release them because they're too computationally expensive to run at scale. With over 1 billion ChatGPT users, serving more powerful models would be financially devastating without major infrastructure investments. The mathematics are staggering. Each GPT-6 conversation with memory could require from 10 to 100 times more computational resources than current GPT interactions. Industry experts estimate that fully deploying GPT-6 at current ChatGPT scale could cost OpenAI over $10 billion annually in compute costs alone. But here's where the business model gets really interesting, and I've been thinking about this a lot lately. Look at the token pricing patterns over the past year. When GPT 4.5 initially launched, it was priced at $150 per million tokens. Absolutely astronomical. OpenAI called it a very large and compute-intensive model, basically admitting it was an experimental, unsustainable approach to scaling. Based on those token prices, GPT 4.5 was likely 10 times the scale of GPT-4, representing a classic conflict between bigger is better and commercial viability. What we're seeing is AI models following the exact same economic playbook as smartphone chips. Think about it. Every year, Intel takes their flagship i7 chip design and creates i5 and i3 versions by disabling cores and reducing clock speeds. Same silicon, different performance tiers, dramatically different prices. AI companies are doing the same thing now. The flagship model gets priced around $80 per million tokens. That's your i7 equivalent. Then you get the standard tier at around $15-20 per million tokens, and eventually a budget tier. Each new generation's mid-tier model performs roughly equivalent to the previous generation's flagship, but at 20% of the cost. This explains why GPT-5 feels underwhelming to many users. We're no longer in the era of revolutionary leaps, we're in the smartphone maturity phase. Remember 2010-2012 when each new iPhone generation felt incrementally better rather than transformational? That's exactly where AI is heading. The focus is shifting from pure benchmark improvements to holistic user experience upgrades, cost reduction, fewer hallucinations, better user satisfaction, longer context windows, improved consistency, and multi-step reasoning. It's system-level optimization rather than raw capability scaling. This means GPT-6, GPT-7, and GPT-8 will likely follow predictable 12-24 month upgrade cycles, just like smartphones. We'll see GPT-6 Pro, GPT-6, and GPT-6 mini tiers with internal routing systems that automatically serve users the cheapest model that meets their needs. The days of massive computational leaps are probably over until the next fundamental breakthrough in computing architecture. This is where the timeline gets interesting. Industry experts suggest OpenAI is deliberately spacing releases to manage costs while building infrastructure capacity. The faster GPT-6 timeline isn't just about competition, it's about having the infrastructure ready to support a more efficient model architecture. The infrastructure challenges extend beyond just processing power. GPT-6 needs to maintain persistent persistent state across millions of users, each with their own memory profiles. This requires new approaches to data storage, retrieval, and synchronization at scales never attempted before. The energy implications are also significant. This raises questions about sustainability and operational costs that could affect the entire industry. OpenAI's partnership with Microsoft gives them access to renewable energy infrastructure, but the scale of energy requirements for personalized AI could reshape the entire cloud computing industry. Here's where things get really wild. Altman has hinted at neural interface integration for future versions. In the CNBC interview, he called neural interfaces a cool idea and imagined being able to think something and have ChatGPT respond. This isn't science fiction, it's on OpenAI's actual roadmap. Companies like Neuralink, Synchron, and Paradromics are already demonstrating brain-computer interfaces that can decode simple thoughts and intentions. While consumer neural interfaces are still years away, the groundwork is being laid. OpenAI's early research into thought-based interaction could position them as the dominant platform when neural interfaces become mainstream. But let's bring this back to reality. What does all this mean for regular users? First, if you're using AI for business, GPT-6 could genuinely revolutionize productivity. An AI that remembers your clients, understands your industry, and adapts to your communication style. For content creators like myself, imagine an AI that knows your audience, your brand voice, your content calendar, and can create authentic content that actually sounds like you wrote it. Every major tech company is racing to develop memory-enabled AI systems. Google is integrating AI memory across their entire ecosystem: Search, Gmail, Drive, and Android. They have the advantage of existing user data in established platforms. Microsoft is embedding memory-enabled AI into Windows, Office, and Azure, potentially making every PC a personalized AI workstation. There's also the competitive landscape to consider. Google is rushing to integrate AI across all their services. Anthropic is positioning Claude as the safety-focused alternative. Meta is pushing AI into social media. Microsoft is embedding AI into everything through Copilot. The race isn't just about having the best model anymore, it's about controlling the entire ecosystem. OpenAI's strategy seems to be vertical integration. They're not just making the model, they're creating the hardware, the software, the user experience, and potentially even the neural interface. If they pull this off, they could control the entire AI interaction paradigm for the next decade. Competitors could leapfrog their technology before it even launches. Apple, notably absent from much AI hardware discussion, could emerge as a dark horse. Their expertise in hardware design, battery optimization, and user experience could produce an AI device that makes OpenAI's effort look primitive. Samsung, Amazon, and other hardware giants are all developing AI-enabled devices that could compete directly with OpenAI's offering. The regulatory environment is also shifting rapidly. Governments worldwide are starting to take AI seriously, and an AI with perfect memory about citizens could face significant restrictions. The EU's AI Act, potential US federal legislation, and similar frameworks globally could severely limit how memory-enabled AI systems can operate. Data residency requirements could fragment the global AI market. If European users' AI memories must stay in European data centers, if Chinese users require local infrastructure, the technical and financial complexity of global AI deployment increases dramatically. OpenAI's ambitious timeline could collide with regulatory realities. If GPT-6 succeeds, they could challenge Apple and Google for control of personal computing. If they fail, competitors could seize the opening. What should you do with this information? First, start preparing for a world where AI has perfect memory. Think about what you're comfortable sharing with AI systems and what you want to keep private. Consider how personalized AI could change your work, your relationships, and your daily routines. Second, watch the hardware development closely. If OpenAI successfully launches a compelling screen-free AI device, it could trigger a massive shift in how we interact with technology. Third, pay attention to the competitive response. Google, Apple, Microsoft, and others won't sit still while OpenAI tries to redefine personal computing. Their countermoves could be just as significant as GPT-6 itself. The race is on. The stakes couldn't be higher, and we're all about to find out whether OpenAI can deliver on their most ambitious promises yet. The age of AI with perfect memory is almost here. The question is whether we're ready for it. If you want to stay ahead of AI releases like GPT-6 instead of constantly playing catch-up, AI Master Pro is your system. Link in the description for 24% off. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.